Welcome to Fantasy Football Aces. It's your boy, William Wolf. I'm back. And we're live for week motherfucking 6. I got a big week against Young Hai Lee, a.k.a. The Database, a.k.a. Guerrilla Warfare this week. A 1-5 matchup versus your 5-0 Fantasy Football Aces. Brighten it up here a little bit. My bad. I forgot to turn the lights. Turn the lights on. So, came on a little bit later than I was going to today because I got 2 players playing right now. I got Mark Andrews and DeAndre Hopkins playing. It's been a quiet first half. Kind of expected it though, so not a big deal. They're both projected right now lower than they were supposed to. As I said though, it was who did he start somebody? Wow, he started Justice Hill. I didn't even realize that. Interesting. He looks good too. I like that start by him. Sneaky. I would have went with Josh Downs. But he started Justice Hill. Didn't even realize that, guys. Yeah, so game out in London, Ravens, Tennessee. I expected this game to be low scoring. I expected it to be a defensive battle of some sorts. A team like the Ravens likes to blitz. They like to play man-to-man quite a bit. That gives DeAndre Hopkins opportunities to go deep. But he's not, at this point in his career, I don't expect DeAndre to be that good against a primary man-to-man team. I think he has a lot of trouble getting separation. If you watch any of that first half, like everything you throw to him on slants and whatnot is all really tight throws. On top of that, Tennessee, they just have trouble moving the ball regardless. Wow, this thing's way behind over here. Let's see here. I got the game on live here. Like I said, I got Mark Andrews and DeAndre Hopkins playing, so I'm gonna want to be watching this game through and through. Let me fix this real quick. All right, I got that fixed. Not really relying on Mark Andrews and DeAndre Hopkins. Those two kind of guys, they're like 2 of my players along with Nico Collins, I would say, that like if they score a touchdown on you, you're probably going to lose. Like those are the weeks that I'm going to fucking go for like $150 or higher. Most likely those weeks that they do well. DeAndre sort of carried me last week, which is perfect. I need that from him every once in a while. If the rest of my team, my fantasy football team, is kind of having a slow week, but DeAndre 1 for 20, Mark Andrews 2 for 27. I expect DeAndre to get a lot of garbage points the rest of this game. I'd say he's probably going to get like 6 receptions for about 80 yards. I'll get real lucky if I get a touchdown. But if I can get 6 for 80, 6 for 70, something like that, I'll take it. I'll take the 10 points and move on. Mark Andrews, as far as he's concerned, I wouldn't expect him to do much the second half. I think the Ravens are in control of this game. They're going to keep playing good defense and run the ball. if I get lucky and get a touchdown near the red zone, that'd be great. So far, he hasn't even targeted him in the red zone. Been down there more than a few times. I think he had him on a corner route. One of those times he threw a ball to Odell Beckham instead and overthrew Odell. I think he had Mark on the same. They both were running corner routes to opposite sides. I think he had Mark, but it is what it is. I didn't realize that Lee started Justice Hill, so that'll be something to monitor the rest of the night. I think it's one of those games that Gus Edwards is probably going to get more carries in the second half because they have a big lead, so that's nice for me. But Justice looks good. I actually think that was a smart start by him. We're gonna get into different. I'm gonna get into the different start sits. I'm gonna stay full screen unless I want to show you the DraftKings lineups later on. But as I go one by one with these teams, I'm going to give my opinions on the spreads. And then I am also going to let you know of guys that I would sit down because of the matchups. And we'll go through that hopefully in the same order as I see here. Wait, first off, we have the Commanders Falcons. That's a 1 p.m. game. Falcons are -1.5. I would take the Falcons in this game. I think it's going to be a low scoring game. Let me close this door for my dog.
Hey, Bree. Want to sit down? Come sit down. Be a guest. You be my guest.
And I think it's going to be a low-scoring game. I would roll out Pitts if you have to because it's tough to find tight ends. Matter of fact, I want to get a Celsius too, guys. I'll be right back in 1 minute. Yeah, so Kyle Pitts, I'm putting him in your lineup. I'm putting Logan Thomas in your lineup unless you have one of the big three tight ends, big four tight ends, and you know who those guys are. I don't need to repeat them. If you're anyone of a fantasy football follower, you should know who I'm talking about. I think Logan Thomas is a really sneaky play right now. He's hot. Falcons are a little vulnerable against the tight end position. They primarily like to play a lot of zone, cover three, mix that in with some man. They like to mix it up. They have a really good defense, great secondary. Terrell is one of the best corners in the league. So a vulnerable spot to attack is at the tight end position. I started Logan Thomas in quite a few of my DraftKings lineups, 3,500. He's one of the cheaper options. Getting volume. People are going to chase it. He's going to be a popular guy to put in your lineup at 3,500, but it is what it is. You know, it's tough to build lineups and put in those low costing people in your lineup. So I'm going to roll with him. If you can, I would be sitting Terry McLaurin and Dotson this week. And if you have a better option than Brian Robinson, I'd sit him too. I wouldn't want to be playing anybody on Washington. I think this is going to be a really low scoring game. I think if you're going to bet on this game, don't take a team. I would take Atlanta, but don't do that. I think the better play is the under in that game. I like the under quite a bit. Moving on to the Vikings Bears. Guys, this is going to be one of my picks of the week. It's not going to be my main pick, but last week I had 2 picks and I went 1-1, and I gave you guys the Rams against Philadelphia, and that ended up being an L. I felt bad about that because I went 1-1, and it's because I've been forced into saying that I only want to pick 1 pick. And you know what? Some weeks I'm going to pick 2, just like last week. Last week I liked KC as well. Ended up telling you guys the Rams, and went 0-1. But this week I'm going to give 2 picks, and I'm going to say one's 1A and one's 1B. This would be my 1B, guys, and that's the Chicago Bears at +3 at home. The Vikings are a really bad ball club. I know the Bears defensively are arguably the worst defense in the NFL. I really think that. But with that being said, I think the Vikings are a very, very bad ball club, and there's no reason they should be 3-point favorites against the Bears at home. I love the Bears in this game to win the game outright, let alone get 3 points in this series. That's not saying, when you gamble, the Vikings won't come out and win, but or cover. But I just like this value at home at -3, and +3 at home. You got Justin Jefferson out. I just think that they're going to struggle. The Bears have some cornerbacks coming back. Kyle Fuller, or not Fuller, Kyle Gordon, I believe. Sorry. This is embarrassing because it's my favorite team. Not a homer pick either, by the way. It's I have no Kyle Gordon. Yeah, I said it right. So I think that it's going to be a high-scoring game. You're going to want to start everybody in this game. You're going to want to start DJ, Kmet. You're going to want to start Foreman, who's the only running back for the Bears. I got him mixed in a bunch of DraftKings lineups today. Osborne, obviously great value in DraftKings. Addison is going to be a guy who's great value going into this week alone because he's the number 1 guy there. We really don't know who they're going to throw to. Hawkinson is going to be a good play in this week. You're going to want to start everybody in this week. But my 1B pick of the week, the Chicago Bears, I really think that that's a sharp play, guys. Moving on to the Seahawks and Bengals. We got that one at -3. Bengals are -3. Over under set at 45.5. In that game, I would take the Seattle Seahawks. I would take the points. I think the Bengals got on a nice little game against Arizona. I think a lot of people think that they're going to be able to repeat that, but they're going to run into a hot defense right now. A defense that it's figuring out how good they are. One of the best secondaries in the NFL with the Seattle Seahawks. Just a team that's young and talented. I think Seattle has been playing everybody really well this year, and nothing's going to change here. I think that the Bengals are a struggling ball club who got right against Arizona, but they're going to come back down to earth today. You're not sitting Jamar Chase, but I wouldn't be putting him in your DraftKings lineups. On the Seattle side of the ball, you're going to want to start DK. You're going to want to start Lockett. They're going to have a lot of opportunities against man-to-man today, and those 2 guys can beat man, which I like. You're going to hope and expect a big game out of Kenneth Walker. And, Joe Mixon, you're starting him. You have to. I would be sitting Boyd, and I don't know the status on Higgins because I haven't paid attention to that team. I don't have any stock in them, but I would be I wouldn't expect much out of him either. But you're not sitting Higgins if he's in the lineup. I'm going to be watching this Tennessee game and Ravens game in the corner of my eye quite a bit here. I got 2 players that in there in the diamond that I have to focus on, so forgive me on that. 49ers versus Browns. I weighed a lot on this game, whether or not I wanted it to be one of my picks of the week. I do like the 49ers quite a bit in this game. I just think the Browns have one of the best defenses in the NFL, guys. That over-under is so low. I can see this just being a dogfight hell game that the 49ers control and win, but I can easily see the Browns covering in this game at home with one of the best defenses in the NFL in their own right. So come on, baby. Give it to Hopkins, baby. Feed DeAndre, baby. Come on. We're down 18-3. This is great for Hopkins for garbage time, guys. We want the Ravens to play soft zones and DeAndre just to get fed. Feed him, baby. Feed the dreadhead. As far as the Browns are concerned, you don't want to start anybody in that game. 49ers, you're all go as usual. So, but if you have any better options than Amari Cooper, do it. Ford, don't expect big things from him. If you have a better option than Ford, yeah, these bitches are locked. The Ravens have Tennessee locked up bad, man. I predicted this, though. The Ravens statistically are one of the best defenses in the NFL this year. So this is nothing that I didn't know. I didn't expect a big game from DeAndre Hopkins today. He's getting double covered, too. They're all over him. He's looking for DeAndre there, but he's double covered. Sack. It is what it is. We need the Ravens to score again. Maybe if I'm lucky, Mark Andrews. And then DeAndre can have the opportunity to get a lot of garbage points. Take this to the house. Go Duvernay. Moving on to the Saints-Texans. That line is 1.5, 42.5. I'm starting Nico Collins today, but I do not expect big things from him. He's going against the number 1 rated corner in the NFL this year, Marshawn Lattimore. Marshawn specifically does really well against big cornerbacks. He's gone against Mike Evans his whole career and shut him down his whole career. So I don't expect Nico Collins to be any different. I think Nico and Mike actually are really good comparisons and comps. Nico is maybe a little faster, but not by much. Mike seems to be able to get behind defenders easily himself, especially in his younger years. So I would say they're a great comp, and it just doesn't bode well for Nico against Marshawn Lattimore. So I don't expect big things. I think Tank Dell's out, which in theory would mean Nico probably gets more targets, but I think this is going to be a low-scoring game. I think they're going to be in a dogfight. I think that if possible, you should avoid starting anybody you can in this game. You're not going to sit Kamara or Olave. So those guys are must starts, but and you kind of expect big things out of Kamara. I temper your expectations with Olave. And as far as DraftKings are concerned, I would stay away from this game altogether, and that includes Kamara. I would just stay away from this game. If you made me pick in this one, I like Texans at home. I think that the Saints have been playing pretty good football, but I always would take the home dog under 3 points every single time. So the Texans are the play in that game. Wouldn't touch that one. Moving on to the Colts Jaguars. This is a game that I think you want to get a piece of in DraftKings as far as the Jaguars side of the ball is concerned. I think Trevor Lawrence is a great play in DraftKings this week. I think that Ridley and Christian Kirk are must plays in this week. You have to get one of them in your lineups. The Colts secondary has just been really bad against receivers, specifically ones that can beat zone. I think that bodes really well for Christian Kirk. But Trevor Lawrence isn't a bad play. Calvin Ridley isn't a bad play either because, if Trevor Lawrence focuses on him against the zone coverage, I think he can get 10 catches plus this week and have one of his biggest weeks of the year. I think this could be Ridley's biggest week of the year for sure. Look at that. Justice Hill's in the game. I was hoping I'd see Gus Edwards. Play action. Justice Hill. Went for negative yards, but you get that 0.5 for a catch. On the Colts side of the ball, guys, I'm sitting Zach Moss or JT until I figure out what the hell's going on there, guys. I think that you could roll out Zach Moss just because of how good of a game he had last week. And you can say to yourself, you know what, fuck it, I'm going to keep riding this until it ends. And I'm okay with that. But I don't think you can put JT out there. I think you got to wait until he gets more opportunity and then put him in at that point. I think that if you just roll him out now like you did last week, you're going to hate your life if he has another shitty game like he did. There's just feeding Justice Hill, guys. This is not good for Gus Edwards. I mean, not for fantasy. And plus I need Mark Andrews. So I had a feeling this game script was not good for me. I needed both teams to be scoring. It bodes well for DeAndre. DeAndre can probably get some garbage time going, but not good for Mark Andrews. I don't think he's going to get very many more opportunities the rest of this game. I didn't really expect much out of him this week, so it's all good. Anything I get from Mark is just a bonus, In that game, guys, I would take the Jaguars -4, but I would stay away from it entirely. Wouldn't be a game that I wanted much of a piece of, except in DraftKings. I want to get as many people out there as I can. I'd start Michael Pittman. Give it to Mark. Where's Mark? We ain't giving it to Mark. He was kind of open too. Ay. What, Bree? That brings me to the next game, the Panthers-Dolphins. Guys, this is my pick of the week. Your Miami Dolphins at home against the Panthers. They've played against 3 bad teams at home so far this year. They've played against the New York Giants at home. They won by 15. They played against Denver Broncos at home. They won 70-20. Now they're playing against the Panthers at home. This is the kind of offense that is just on a whole nother level when they play a bad team like this. They go and walk into Miami in that hot sun down South Florida in the swamps, and they don't know what the fuck's coming. There's just the scheme is out of control for Miami. They hit you from many different directions. Tyreek in the backfield, Tyreek running this way, Raheem Mostert running this way, Ollie Ockney and all the things he was doing. Achane, I know he's out now, but Raheem Mostert, expect a big day from him today. I would be starting Raheem Mostert in all your DraftKings lineups. I think you have to start him this week. They're a big favorite at home, and he's the only running back that's going to be going. So I think Chuba Hubbard is an absolute exceptional play in DraftKings this week. I wouldn't be starting him in redraft leagues or whatnot unless you have to put him in your flex. He will be the only and main running back going for the Panthers, and in theory, you would hope that he gets a lot of catches out of the backfield, especially in a game script that they're losing by quite a bit. I think Miami is going to be able to probably score at will in this game. The Panthers are, in my opinion, the worst team in the NFL. They have more to play for than other teams because they don't have a draft pick and they have Bryce Young already. So I believe that there's a chance they don't finish as the worst team in the NFL because I think the organization is going to be playing for a lot more this year than teams like the Patriots or the Broncos or, et cetera, like teams that actually want to get Caleb Williams and suck for Caleb. I think the Panthers are the opposite on that. They're giving their pick to the Bears. But with that being said, they have one of the worst rosters in the NFL. They're just going to run into a buzzsaw in Miami this week. Miami is just going to score at will on them. I think the Panthers can put up some points, but it won't be enough. Dolphins are my pick of the week, guys. They're gonna score at least 35 points this week. So it's just a matter of can they hold the Panthers under 14, or somewhere around that nature. I think Adam Thielen's a strong play this week, and Chuba Hubbard you can start in DraftKings at his value. I wouldn't want to start him in redraft, and you could start Thielen across the board in anything if you like him. Game script's going to be there all year for him. He just seems like the number one target and a really good fantasy football option in general this year. Moving on to the Patriots, Raiders. I think Josh Jacobs is a great play this week in DraftKings. If you can fit him in your lineup, I think that's a great play at home. They're a favorite. I would take the Raiders -3 in this game. I wouldn't feel comfortable about it. I wouldn't play this game personally, but I'm just giving you the pick no matter what. I think you're comfortable starting Devontae Adams and Myers as usual. If I think that on the Patriots side of the ball, Ramondre Stevenson has an opportunity to have a really good bounce back game this week. This could be the start of his run of actually getting things going. Ramondre is way too talented, guys, way too talented to continue on the pace that he's on. I know the Patriots have been playing really bad football, but this is a week, +3 on the road, like in the dome in a city in Las Vegas that's really not a home field advantage. I think that Ramondre can get it going this week. He's a sneaky DraftKings player to start this week. I traded him for Ramondre in one of my other leagues. I thought this could be the start of maybe a good run for him. The schedule lightens up. Raiders are bad against the run. A.J. Dillon had a good game against them last week, and A.J. Dillon's terrible. So I think Ramondre can really get it going here in this game. I don't want to start anybody else on the Patriots, though. Not a single soul. And you start Ramondre, and you're not, like, super happy about it. But he is a talented player, man. I really believe that. Give it to Hopkins, baby. Feed him. Nobody's open, man. The Ravens just got this shit locked up. These London games are so boring, man. They've just been bad games so far this year. At least it's football in the morning, though, I'd like to see DeAndre and Andrews get some things going here, but it's just not looking good, man. It's not looking like a good fantasy day for me so far, as far as these two players are concerned. They're playing tight man-to-man coverage on DeAndre. That's just the complete opposite of what you want at this point in his career. He's not a kind of guy. He's not even looking for him. Terrible throw. He's looking for the flag. Oh, they threw a roughing the passer flag there. Surprising. Moving on to the Lions Buccaneers. This is an interesting one, guys. Buccaneers are +3 at home. I would take the Buccaneers with the points. They were borderline pick of the week for me. I fell back. I would feel comfortable taking the Bucs at home. I think it's a sharp play. That line's low. I think most of the public and people are going to be on the Lions. The Lions have been absolutely fantastic this year. I don't think much things are going to change. It's just that line just tells me the Buccaneers, they have a really good defense. I think that they're going to surprise the Lions at home down there in the hot sun in Tampa Bay. I think that Jameson Williams, this could be his breakout game, though, as far as DraftKings is concerned. I think he's an exceptional dart throw today. Look at this. They got Derrick Henry lined up in the backfield. Direct snap. I love that play. He's gone. Derrick Henry's gone. What a play. That's a great play. That's worked twice today, man. They should line up in that a little bit more here. Seems like the Ravens don't have an answer for that right now. That's something that the Bears organization should be looking at, by the way. You see a play like this, and you know that you can do something like that with Justin Fields. A really good offensive coordinator, a good organization, a smart people, they see plays like that, and they bring them to the organization like, hey, we can do this too. We can do this play. This is where I need DeAndre Hopkins to catch a touchdown, guys. Look for him. We need DeAndre to get at least an opportunity here, guys. He's one-on-one over there on the outside. You got to give him an opportunity here. Jump ball, something, bro. Give the man an opportunity here. I do have a message here. Give DeAndre an opportunity. They gave him one at least. I like that at least. Shitty throw. You got to give him. You literally have to fucking put it up so he can go have a jump ball there. It's terrible throw. Terrible throw. Where are we throwing it, Ryan? Give the man an opportunity, bro. Throw a fucking jump ball. Dameon Pierce, Joshua Palmer, Brian Robinson Jr., or Deontay Foreman at flex full PPR. I'll answer that after this play. Got number 10, one-on-one again. I don't see why you don't give him an opportunity. Number 10's one-on-one. Look for him. He's looking for him. Jump ball. Another shitty throw, but they called PI that time. That's just terrible throws, though. Just fucking brutal throws. That's a really, really, really tough one, man. Full PPR. Man, that's a tough one, buddy. I think it's one of those ones that it's impossible to make the right decision. All these guys are in the same vicinity. Dameon Pierce, I believe, is going against Atlanta. They have a really tough defense. Or no, yeah, that's true. Not Dameon Pierce, Brian Robinson. Houston's going against the Saints, another tough defense for Dameon Pierce. I like Joshua Palmer, so it's between Joshua Palmer and Deontay Foreman. Because it's full point PPR, it makes me want to lean towards a receiver, but I always favor running backs. I don't care if it's full point PPR, or I don't care if it's half point or non. I like the running backs because running backs, there's no variable in giving them the ball. Because Minnesota is so bad, I think Deontay's going to get some goal line carries, an opportunity to score a touchdown. I think that there's nobody else in the backfield this week, so Deontay's going to get 19 to 20 carries. I believe that Deontay will be forced to catch the ball out of the backfield because they don't have anybody else. So for my money, it's between Joshua Palmer and Deontay Foreman. And I most likely would go with Deontay Foreman because I favor running backs. But if you like receivers better, I would go with Palmer in the full point PPR format. I think there's a possibility Quentin Johnston, gets more targets and catches this coming week of those two. But Palmer still is on paper the number 2 receiver. I think Dallas will put Gilmore on Keenan Allen as much as they can. It's difficult, man. It's a very difficult one. Those guys are all in the same range. I probably would go with Deontay Foreman. That's just me, though. It's very close, though. It's very close. I just think that Minnesota's got a really bad defense, so that's the main reasoning. If Dameon Pierce or Brian Robinson Jr. were going against shitty defenses, I'd be leaning towards one of those two guys. But because Deontay Foreman has no competition in the backfield this week, and he's going against Minnesota, I think Deontay Foreman's the play there. I would roll with Deontay Foreman. Final answer. Moving on to the Cardinals, Rams. This is a game that you want to get every single piece of DraftKings as you can. Start Stafford, start Kupp, start Puka Nacua, throw a flyer on Tutu Atwell. You're welcome, brother. I would start. I would sit down the Cardinals backfield guys because I'm not quite sure who is going to get the start in that game. They've made it unclear. If I had to pick one of them, I would roll out. DeMarcado. I thought he was a sneaky DraftKings play, but because they were putting him second on the depth chart and they ruled the other gentleman into play, I just don't trust anybody in that game. Plus, the Rams are good against the run anyways. They're going to be winning. I don't really think it's necessarily the best fantasy football option anyways. I would be looking to start Hollywood Brown, but that's about it on the Arizona side of the ball. On the Rams side of the ball, like I said, you're starting everybody and you're trying to get all those guys in your DraftKings lineups as you can fit one of them. I think you have to have at least one of those guys in your lineup to win this week. Kieran is a smash play in DraftKings this week. I have him in almost all my lineups. And I think Cooper Kupp and Puka Nacua are great plays along with Tutu Atwell as a flyer. Nice to see Gus Edwards in there, guys. Pound it, Gus. Good shit, baby. Like to see Gus Edwards in here as much as we can. Take Justice Hill out. We don't want any Justice Hill play here. I will take the Rams -7 in this game, but it's not a lock or anything like that. I'm giving you the pick, and that's it. Moving on to the Eagles-Jets. The Eagles are -6.5. I think that's going to be a low-scoring hell game. I haven't been right on any of my Eagles picks, whether I'm taking them with the points or going against them with the points. That's picked. Wow, that's a terrible throw by Lamar Jackson. He's throwing a jump ball to Gus Edwards. Is that what I just saw? Terrible throw, Lamar. He just got him back in the game, which is sort of bad for me because I kind of wanted Baltimore to keep blowing them out. That way I just get more opportunities. Oh, no, it was to Bateman, I believe. Shitty throw by Lamar. Picked. Lamar ain't the most accurate quarterback. I always say that. Going by that line, guys, I would take the Jets +6.5. I think it's a funny line. It's like begging you to take the Eagles. I think the Jets are a sharp play in that game. I wouldn't touch it, but I would take the Jets if you forced me to. Jalen Carter's out. That's part of the reason why the line's a little bit down. I think that gives Breece Hall an opportunity this week to do something more than what. Look at this. They look like they're playing tight man-to-man with the blitz here. So I would be inclined. I would be more optimistic about Breece Hall this week. I wouldn't be starting him in any DraftKings lineups, but it's very encouraging that Jalen Carter's out. That gives him a better opportunity. On the Jets side of the ball, both their starting cornerbacks are out, which gives you even more reason to want to play the Eagles here on a -6.5. It just seems like a really funny line to me. I'm not a fan of it. I think the under is a better play in this game, but it's bizarre with two corners out that they're only -6.5. You're going to be starting everybody on the Eagles side of the ball, but you temper your expectations because the Jets do have a good defense. With two corners out though, A.J. Brown and Devontae Smith in theory should really eat. God, I'd like to see them get number 10 the ball a few more times, guys. At least get to 60, 70 yards. 10's open. Great catch. Oh, he dropped it. He's hurt. He dropped it. On the Jets side of the ball, yeah, you're going to be starting Garrett Wilson and Breece Hall, and that's it. You're not going to start anybody else. Both of those defenses are good plays this week. Bills, Giants. What's the line in this one? Bills -15.5. They're at home. I'm going to take the Bills in that one. It's not a sharp play, but you're definitely not taking points with the Giants in this one. You're not starting any. Look at this. Helmet to helmet. Oof. Helmet to helmet. That's a rough hit, guys. He should be ejected for that one, actually. Ooh. Right on it, too, buddy. Helmet to helmet. That's a concussion. He's hurt bad. More. On the Bills side of the ball, James Cook should bounce back this week. I think he's a good play. I have him sitting the bench in my Diamond League, but that's just because I have to. I have Mostert, Pollard, and DeAndre Swift. I can possibly start him over DeAndre Swift. I thought about it, but just with the way the game scripts and the way the snap shares have been going on in Buffalo, I think I'm better off starting DeAndre. So that's what I'm going to do. 3 weeks ago, I probably would have started. This would have been one of the weeks that I started James Cook over DeAndre. I like the matchup better, but it is what it is. I'm going to roll with DeAndre in this game. Moving on to the Cowboys Chargers. This game, you expect Pollard to have a huge bounce back. Cowboys are -1. I would take the Chargers in this game at home. That I always take the points under 3 at home for the home dog. Very rare that I go the other way unless I'm totally convinced that the team is just that much better. In this case, I'm not. I think that he did get ejected. I thought he should too. I have no volume, but I think that's fair if they ejected him. That was a bad helmet to helmet. Moore's heading to the locker room too, concussion. So they both go out. I'd imagine number 10's probably open right here if you want to give him the ball. Come on, 10. That's touchdown. That's touchdown, Derrick Henry. Good blocking by DeAndre too. The King. The King gets in there. No flags. Touchdown, Derrick Henry. It's a nice run. They're right back in the game now too. Hell game. Little lead. Looked like a 18. That was a little bit of a weird run. Like a. But 18-13 now. We got a close one up there. As far as you're going to start CeeDee Lamb, you're going to expect a big game from Pollard. Eckler's back. I think Quentin Johnston's a sneaky play. And if you're desperate, I think you're okay trying to throw him out there and see what happens. Him and Jameson Williams, bias here because they're on my bench in my teams, but I think that they both have an opportunity to have their breakout week this week. One of these weeks they're going to break out, and I think you want to be ahead of the curve when that happens. It's always amazing when you catch the first week of a breakout when it starts to trend and go green for a while. If you catch the first week, then if you don't catch the first week, then you're scared to do it the second week too, because you're like, I don't want to like chase the points and then be wrong in the second week. When you get the first breakout week right, then it's easy to go the second week because you're playing with house money at that point, and then that's when you catch a wave and you ride the wave. And I did that with Puka Nacua and Nico Collins this year, and it was easy for me to keep them in my lineup because they've just been so good to me throughout. But if you wait on the breakout performance, then you might be scared to follow up with it. So I think Quentin Johnston and Jameson Williams this week are really good dart throws this week. I think they both have an opportunity to have a breakout game equally too. I wouldn't say one more than the other. I think they're both in fairly similar spots where they're kind of the third option on their team in theory anyways, arguably the fourth. So, but they have an opportunity to become like, the second or third option on their offense once they show what they really can do. They're both extremely talented in different ways too. I think Jameson, it's the speed, more of like a Deshaun Jackson kind of player. And Quentin Johnston, he's just an athletic specimen. And I think he would remind you of a player who can just make jump balls and be athletic, twitchy. Off the top of my head, I can't even think of somebody that Quentin Johnston reminds me of. But we're going to go full screen here, and we're going to show you some of the DraftKings lineups. I have quite a few this week, but for my 777 one, we're going to show you that first. And that would be, let me see which one it is. It doesn't tell you on there. So I got to look at it on here, guys. It's this middle one right here, guys, that my thing is on. Going with Justin Fields at quarterback. I have Justin Fields in quite a few of them. All right, I'm gonna roll with Kieran Williams and Mostert as my running backs. I told you I think they're smash plays this week. They're must starts in my opinion. Even if they, don't perform at the rate and level that you would hope, I still think that you have to put them in your lineup this week. They're great value. They're both true RB1 workhorses, and again, going against teams that they should dominate. In theory, they should be getting a lot of carries, over 15 carries each. Should get plenty of goal line opportunities. I think that they're smash plays. Calvin Ridley, DJ Moore, and Addison, all three number one receivers going against defenses that they should dominate. That's the idea there. I have DJ Moore lined up with Justin Fields as a stack, so that should be a great opportunity for both of them to get things going. If Justin has a big game, hopefully it's to DJ Moore like it has been in the past. Let's get it to Mark. Fucking wide open, he misses him. So, that's where you're going with that. I have Logan Thomas in quite a few of my lineups this week at 3,500. I think he's good value. Atlanta, I think they're vulnerable against the tight end position. I think that's where you attack them the best. I think that Sam Howell kind of is leaning on Logan a little bit. That's what young quarterbacks tend to do, is lean on the tight ends, especially big tight ends like Logan. So in theory, I'm just hoping that he, catches 6 balls. That's what I'm really hoping for. I don't expect much, but he's 3,500. Give it to. Oh, we got Mark Andrews. We got him this time. Damn, Titans are fucking buckling down now, guys. This is not a good fantasy football game unless you have Derrick Henry, I guess, at this point. Justin Tucker would be a nice little play as well. Nick Folk maybe even too. God, Mark Andrews is just bottled up, man. My guys are all locked. So I went with Chuba Hubbard in my flex. I went with Chuba Hubbard in a bunch of these different ones in my flex. And I just went with him because he's really cheap and he's the RB1. I think he'll get plenty of opportunities. I think that in theory, if they're losing by a lot, hopefully he gets a bunch of checkdowns. I'm hoping, for like 6 catches and 40 yards, probably like 8 or 9 carries for another 30 to 40 yards. And then that would be all I'm hoping for. Maybe like a 9 or 10 point performance. And then if I'm lucky, I get a touchdown. If I'm very lucky, he should get the volume. So that's what you're hoping for. I'll show you this other lineup here just to give you another idea of a direction I'm going, and that's Trevor Lawrence at quarterback with Christian Kirk in a bunch of lineups. I have Ridley and Christian Kirk in almost every single one of my lineups. I have Jameson Williams as a flyer in this one with Hockenson and Foreman. If I don't have Fields as my quarterback, I had to get Foreman in one of those lineups, and I'll show you another one. Matthew Stafford, I got DeMarcado, Hubbard, and Foreman. So that went really cheap at running backs and flex there with RB1s that are going to get all the carries. And in theory, hopefully, besides DeMarcado, we don't know yet. That's a gamble. But in this lineup, I have Christian Cooper Kupp and Tutu Atwell paired with Stafford and Nico Collins, Nico's been on a pattern where he goes ham, doesn't go ham, goes ham, doesn't go ham. And I'm kind of riding that pattern and just seeing what happens with Nico. I don't expect big things, him going against Marshawn Lattimore, but I think it's not a bad play following that pattern there. He fell in perfectly in that salary, this specific lineup for the salary. I went with 49ers defense here, who I think will dominate. Lions in this lineup with Tua. I paired him with Tyreek Hill and Waddle. Went with Josh Downs and Logan Thomas. Foreman, as I said, Hubbard and Kyron Williams. This is another lineup, but it's more favored towards the receivers, and Tua having a big game there. It kind of gives me some insurance against Mostert not having a big game if hypothetically Tua, Tyreek, and Waddle just go off. With that being said, if that did happen, I would solely be relying on this lineup here essentially. because and then possibly this Matthew Stafford lineup. But most of my lineups have Justin Fields. Most of them have Kyrie Williams and Mostert, as you see here. I just went with different combinations. This one I have Mike Evans, DJ Moore, and Osborne. I have Osborne and Addison in quite a bit of lineups, not together, but separate. And then I have Hubbard, like I said, in most of my lineups, just because he's cheap and he is the RB1. And this one I went with Justin Fields, ETN, Mostert, and Kyrie Williams. That's really strong running back, so I didn't get any of those bum running backs in there like Hubbard. And then I went with the flyer and Jamison Williams instead, and hoping that he breaks out with Christian Kirk and DJ Moore. In this lineup, Logan Thomas with the Falcons defense, who I think the Falcons can dominate against Sam Howell, who's getting sacked like crazy this year. Looks like the Titans are running down their throat now a little bit. This game's really shifted in the second half. But yeah, I'm really excited about these lineups today. The 777 one is right here in the middle. That'll be the one that I'm cheering for the most, because, you know, it's only 100 and some people in the 777. I only need to finish top 23. I was the bubble last week, by the way, guys. The bubble, the literal bubble, or else I would have made back about 1,400 and didn't. So, haven't cashed anything significant this year, down quite a bit of money. So I need a big cash one of these weeks to make up for the amount that I'm down at this point, which I think I will. I'm confident. I know I'm confident in my ability of doing this, that I will eventually hit and the variance will kick in. Really excited about that lineup though, guys. I gave you the picks of the week. The Bears and the Bears +3 and the Miami Dolphins -14. So for the rest of this pod, I'm going to just react to this game. So you'll get NFL reactions live here. We got Titans 2nd and 1. Toss to Derrick Henry, stuffed. We're going to be 3rd and 2 for the Tennessee Titans. This game is really shifted. The Ravens, it's kind of the complete opposite of the first half. The Ravens dominated defensively, and sacking Ryan Tannehill quite a bit. It actually started like that in the beginning of this first half. But, you know, Lamar throws the pick, and it just changes the game, changes everything that's going on. Titans seem like they're able to run the ball. I expect them to run the ball here on 3rd and 2, and then they're going to go for it on 4th down regardless. They drop back to pass. He's looking for a pick. Ryan Tannehill throws a pick. He's going to get up. He's going to take it. This can go to the house right here, guys. Way too much room. Oh, he took a bad angle. Bad angle by the Ravens, but horrible interception by Ryan Tannehill. I don't really know what he was looking for there, guys. Bad read, bad decision on 3rd and 2 at the 50. I would have ran the ball there if I was the Tennessee Titans. Would have gotten something. You know, I actually would have gotten the God, I don't know the right word for it right now. It's not coming to me. But when you put Derrick Henry at quarterback and run the ball, I would have gotten that formation, because it just seems like it's been dominating today. They ran it a few times today, and every single time it's worked. I don't know why the formation's not coming to me when you put the running back at quarterback. Wildcat. Sorry, I would have gotten the Wildcat there if I was the Tennessee Titans on 3rd and 2, and then I would have been going for it on 4th down no matter what in that situation. Defense is playing better football at this moment, so it's one of those situations on the 50 down 5 that you're in 4 down territory, in my opinion, even in the NFL. So bad decision by the Tennessee Titans. Once again, this is a really ugly game for fantasy football, unless your name's Derrick Henry. We got Justice Hill back in the game, which is something we don't want to see, by the way. We want Gus Edwards in there as much as possible, but now that the game's close, I would expect Justice Hill to be in there more. Play action. He's looking for a deep ball here. Giving it out to Justice, another 0.5 for him. That sucks for me. Luckily for me, unless Justice Hill breaks a big play for a touchdown, he's not a scoring threat. That's why I have Justice Hill on my bench in quite a few of my leagues, because you can't really decide who to start between him and Gus Edwards, and neither one of them are having great years. Neither one of them are dominating. And I think Gus Edwards has a way better opportunity of scoring a touchdown than Justice. Justin's going to get more like volume and catches, but they're both not really good fantasy football plays so far this year. He's looking. Yeah, Flowers is having a pretty good game today, so he's looked for him quite a bit. He would have had that 2-point conversion plus the touchdown, but they called that 2-point conversion back. 3rd and 2 here for the Ravens. I think they're going to run the ball here. Same situation. Yep, same situation as the Titans were in just a second ago. Oh, flag. Great pull by Lamar. Great play call. I would have called the same thing on 3rd and 2 there. I would have ran the ball at the 50. I think on 3rd and 2 around the 50-yard line, it's going to be on the Tennessee Titans, so that's going to be first down for Lamar Jackson. A nice little 12, probably 9 to 10-yard run, I think it was. Fake to Justice Hill, keeper. Great play call. On 3rd and 2 at the 50, you should always run the ball. There's no reason to be doing anything else. You should try to take an opportunity there to run the ball. You don't do something that's just so simple that they're going to stuff it. You want to do a play like that, similar to that. Gus Edwards is back in the game, so that's nice. We're looking for Mark Andrews here. It's a shitty throw, a jump ball to Mark Andrews. I got a target, which was nice, but that was a bad decision by Lamar. He was way covered, 3 guys on him. Sucks, man. I'd like to get a big play from Andrews, man. Both of my receivers in this fantasy football game are not doing anything, but he was double covered there. Just a bad decision by Lamar Jackson. He had an opportunity to catch that, though, guys. He really did. 2nd and 10 for the Ravens. I think they'll run the ball here. Try to get it down to like 3rd and 5, 3rd and 6. That's what NFL teams like to do. But they're passing. Get a catch for Mark Andrews. It would have been nice to see him break that tackle or get away from that tackler and get a 9 or 10 yards. But it's a short completion for 5. I got 3 catches for about 30-something yards for Mark Andrews now. It's not a good fantasy football day so far for him. But if he can get to 6 or 7 catches for 60 to 70 yards, that'd be great. We're looking for Gus Edwards. We get it. First down. Ravens down to the 20. That's what we want to do. Justice Hill's coming back into the game. That's no bueno. So 1st and 10 for the Ravens. I like the pace of play from the Ravens, though, if you have fantasy football options on the Ravens. If you're playing Mark Andrews, for example, because he's probably the number 1 guy you're going to be playing on the Ravens besides Lamar Jackson, you like the pace of play. They're at the line of scrimmage calling hike early. Justice Hill on the toss. This could be a touchdown. Nope. Got boggled up. Good to see. Only a 2-yard gain for Justice Hill. But Justice on this drive is matching so far what Mark Andrews has done with a 0.5 and 5, a 1-pointer. So nothing much from neither one of those guys in this game so far for the Ravens. Me essentially going Mark Andrews versus Justice Hill. Like to see Mark Andrews on a corner route right here for a touchdown, though, man. This is what you want right here. A corner route to Mark Andrews. He's not doing anything. He's boggled up. He's running. Oh, what a tackle by the Tennessee Titans guy. That could have been. I doubt he would have scored there, but Lamar had a lot of momentum running full speed there. Those are one of those situations where he jukes one guy and goes to the crib. And he was ready to juke, too, at that point. Cutting back inside. Yeah, that could have been a touchdown-saving tackle there. I don't have any volume or a better angle, but I believe, 21 was coming. I think he could have maybe juked 21, though. 3rd and 3. We're at the 15, I believe, right around there. This is a spot where you would expect Mark Andrews to get targeted if they don't run the ball. Justice Hill is in the backfield. We hate to see that. Mark Andrews in motion. Play action. Mark Andrews is open. Give it to Mark. Lamar's making a hell of a play. Look at Lamar. What a play by Lamar Jackson. You love to see that. From the 7 now, we get another chance for Mark Andrews to get a touchdown. We're going to go to the fourth quarter now, though. We'll get a break in this game. Great play by Lamar Jackson, though. Spectacular play. Extend the play. Hopefully get Mark. I think Mark might have been open there, guys. Tennessee seems like they're committed to stopping Mark Andrews this game, though. I see a lot of double coverage, a lot of blanket zone against him, where guys, essentially have their eyes on him and making sure that he doesn't get open. But from the 6 or 7 yard line and the goal line, usually teams give the running back one opportunity and then they're throwing the ball on second and third down unless they gain like 5 or 6 on first. The way this game has been going, I would expect the Ravens to run the ball on first down here at the end to begin the fourth quarter, get the clock going, see how the Titans respond to that run, and then possibly do a read option. I think that'd be a smart little play with Justice Hill. I don't expect them to pass here, but I'd really like to see Mark Andrews at least get one target down here in the goal line. He hasn't gotten any so far today, and it's really been tough on my fantasy football output here. So I'm down into getting close to a coin toss here with both of my guys struggling. DeAndre Hopkins and Mark Andrews struggling. So not a good fantasy football day for me so far. Looking at the fantasy football options right now, we got Lamar having a decent day, nothing crazy. Zay Flowers having a decent fantasy football day. Derrick Henry's the big winner today with about 120 total yards from scrimmage with a touchdown. Nobody else is doing shit for the Tennessee Titans. So, really, unless you have Zay Flowers or Derrick Henry in this game, you're not really that excited from the fantasy football outputs besides Justin Tucker. All right, first and goal. We got Gus Edwards in the game. That's big to see. We're happy to see that. Mark Andrews in motion. Fake. Lamar Jackson running. Good little play. I like that play. I said that. You do an interesting run on first down there. I literally called that. Ryan Tannehill is going out, guys. He looks like he's going to the locker room. So I don't know if that's good or bad for DeAndre. I'd say bad. Number 7 is going to be coming in the game. I don't think he could throw for dick. So bad for DeAndre Hopkins. You want the Ravens to score a touchdown right here, so Tennessee's kind of forced into having to throw the ball a lot. We're happy. God, this is the second time they've gone to this formation. I hate this formation, guys. They don't even have Andrews in that package. I don't know why. They've done this on the goal line now twice, and they haven't scored. Having this package with no Andrews on the field, and they're going to stay in it most likely. They're going to hurry up and stay in this package. So that means you don't have your best red zone target on the field, essentially. I hate that coaching. I just think it's terrible coaching. They brought Mark in. They changed the package. Andrews is back in. I expect them to run the ball right here, though, guys. I think third and goal, you're going to get some kind of run with Lamar Jackson. I really do. It's a pass. Lamar's running. They're down at the 1. I'd kick the field goal right here if I'm the Ravens. Go up by 8. I think with Ryan Tannehill going to the locker room and your defense playing the way it's playing, you send in Justin Tucker here and take the 8-point lead. That's what they're doing. Yeah, it's good coaching. No reason to go forward here. There's an argument to be made that on the 1 yard line, your defense is playing good. Why not go for the touchdown? Go for the 2 scores. Go for the killer, and take that 2-score lead. And then worst case scenario, your defense is playing them at the 1 yard line. The reason why you don't do that is because if Tennessee does stop them, you change the momentum of the game tremendously. And I know your defense is playing against them at the 1 yard line, but the momentum of the game just changes tremendously at that point. Tennessee feels like they have some fight in them. They're only down 5. They got the ball. Momentum can shift. If you kick a field goal there and go up 8, you can't lose, really. That's the game theory in it, is you can't lose. You go up 8, can't lose. They got to score and get a 2-point conversion on you. Most likely, they're not going to be able to drive down the field, and you can't lose in that situation. So that's the reason why you always kick the field goal there. Got a guy asking my lineup. I'll send this guy 2 lineups. I want to send him my other one too. Yeah, I want to send him this one as well. Sent them both my lineups. All right. Tennessee down 8, 1st and 10. I got a message, sorry. 2 or Fields, that's a tough one. 2 or Fields. You can't lose, buddy. If you're still there, the 2 or Fields, are you talking about weekly fantasy football, or are you talking about DraftKings? Let me know if that's probably important to know. But you can't lose on that one. I don't know. I probably would start Fields just because the rushing ability, but Tua is way more of a safe play. He's going to guarantee do well against Carolina Panthers. But I don't think you can go wrong there. Good hard run by Henry there. Not a good fantasy football day for me, though. Ryan Tannehill's going to the locker room. I think that's bad for DeAndre Hopkins. They do have a bye next week, I believe, though. So, they do. So he could get back in a couple of weeks. I doubt it's that serious. Maybe it's good for DeAndre, though. We'll see. Maybe this kid likes him. Play action. He's running. No, this kid sucks, man. He's going to be running a lot. He ain't no thrower. I think this is bad for DeAndre Hopkins. I remember this kid came in and threw quite a bit to Trey Burks last year, though. So he did look at DeAndre there. Oh, DeAndre's wide open. Wide open. He didn't even see him. Yeah, this is bad for DeAndre. That was the most wide open he's been all game. He ran a little C route on the right-hand side, and it looks like he didn't even see it. So that's bad news for DeAndre Hopkins. This kid can't throw. He's not going to get any more open than that. That was the most open you'll see all year. They're going to try to lean on the run. The Ravens know that too. This is ugly for fantasy, for all things fantasy right now. I feel hot in here too. I think it's just because my team's doing bad. 3rd and 8 for the Tennessee Titans. Mike Vrabel knows that he's in trouble here. We're in the gun. Ravens are going to be double covering DeAndre. You're not going to. No, they're playing zone. He's looking for DeAndre, but it's not there. He's going to try to run. He's locked up. This shit's going to be locked up the whole game now. Tennessee will punt here. Try to play good D. And that'll do it for me. I'm going to get out. I did a lot of different things today. I went over every single team, showed you my DraftKings, and showed you my 2 plays of the day, which are the Miami Dolphins and Chicago Bears. That'll do it, though, for y'all today. Y'all have a good rest of the football Sunday. Hopefully, my fantasy football players and my DraftKings guys go off today. This was kind of just a teaser this morning. Didn't really expect big things out of Mark Andrews and DeAndre, so it is what it is. It'll be have to be a comeback win for me in fantasy, and all my big boy players with good matchups are coming up anyway. So didn't expect much out of this game. It's deflating a little bit. Hopefully, it starts to get going. Peace.